Good morning, viewers. Welcome to yet another beautiful day, the 1st of April 2022. And it is another day to be committed to your work and committed to wherever you find yourself. The program is from the Dailies on ECWA TV Africa, and I am Sele Elisha Dasham, and with me is Tosin Wolabi. Good morning, Tosin.
Good morning, Sele.
How was your weekend?
Fine, I'll say what a weekend.
Yeah, okay. We bless God for such a beautiful day. Yeah, we have quite a number of papers, and I would like to start with the first one, which is the New Telegraph. Personnel expenses go up 449.5 billion naira in 11 banks, with the rider GTCO, Starbik, IBTC, Fertility record low costs. Other stories here, we have multilateral notes. CBN imposed 400% penalty on banks, and detail of that story can be found on page 7. Nigerian abolishes COVID-19 tests for vaccinated travelers, and you can find more of that story on page 2 of the New Telegraph. PDP to verify APC's inaction encourages insecurity. And you can see more of that story on page 4 and also on page 7 of the New Telegraph. Terror attacks auto crashes claim 22 lives in Plateau, Imo, Kwara and Osun states. Why are accepted to lead Bello's campaign organization by Hafsa Abiola, and detail of that also can be found on page 7. And the big story here, state of the nation, insecurity has overwhelmed Buhari's government. This is coming from OBJ and Adeboye. Says Nigerians road, rail, air no longer safe. And the Arewa Consultative Forum engage ex-servicemen, hunters to tackle insecurity. Says call for mercenaries must be treated with caution. RCCGO laments the country's huge debt, poor economy, expresses doubt over the 2023 polls. Amici lied about bulletproof coaches, APC chief tides. And Nigerian, a nation under siege by terrorists. And you can find detail of that story on page 2, 3, 4, and 9. And on 2023, unity of Nigeria supersedes zoning. This is coming from Saraki. Obi, Nigeria needs sacrificial leadership, more active youth participation in politics and governance. 6 countries dump 1.7 trillion naira used vehicles in Nigeria. And we have Kalu to APC, revive presidential zoning formula, and urges the party to zone the ticket to the southeast, says he's eminently qualified to govern Nigeria. And Adamu, APC poised to retain power in 2023. And we also have a study here, high caffeine consumption could induce heart risks, and detail of that story can be found on page 8 of the New Telegraph. And that's all from the New Telegraph, Tosin.
On this day newspaper, federal government banks on Shell. Total Energies projects to add 800,000 barrels to daily production. The rider says again OPEC fails to meet planned oil production volume in March. Crude records highest weekly slump in over 10 years. Second Niger Bridge linked engineering work completed to be unveiled October. Details can be found in page 8. And on 2023, presidency says PDP governors are delusional. Obasanjo, Buhari is overwhelmed. Nigeria in serious situation. Agrees with federal lawmakers that nowhere is safe again. ACF, Afenifere, PDP cautions against use of mercenaries to fight terrorists. 7 of 11 coaches derailed to safety again. 7 of 11 coaches derailed to safety after train attack. 80 meters of affected tracks repaired. And Obasanjo, Oshibanjo, Sanwo-Olu, Fayemi, Obaseki, Emefiele, Saraki, Dangote, others fet Lady Doja Otedola at 90. And that's all the story on this day newspaper.
A look at the leadership newspaper. Hush Puppy. U.S. court fixes October 11 for Abba Kyari's trial. Gunmen kill 10 in Plateau. ASWAP execute 4 fishermen in Borno. Detail of that can be found on page 6. And we have Nigerians port lose 5.4 trillion naira in 5 years to absent of single window. And still on the leadership newspaper, we have President Muhammadu Buhari mourns leadership founder's mother, Eunice Isaac. And detail of that can be found on page 7. Rising insecurity, hiring mercenaries not an option. Our troops are capable. This is coming from CSO. Ask the federal government to change security tactics. Recall our ex-servicemen, says can. Call for the mercenaries worrisome. This is coming from Afeni Ferrer. And then Ohanizi, AYCF backs call, says it's long overdue. And the Arewa Consultative Forum, the Northern Coalition, caution against making political capital out of crisis. And I know the issue of insecurity, we cannot overemphasize that issue. Looking at even just this weekend, there was another attack in Plateau State in the Miangu axis there, while when some people, I think about 10 or so, were killed during the festival there. And this is really worrisome, because with the fact that there was already an attack the past week, I think it's really something we need to be very vigilant and to be careful what we do, where we go, and the people we keep around, knowing the fact that these terrorists are still in various corners, just waiting for an opportunity to strike. I think it will be wisdom on our own part when we do things that is expected of us. And here we are seeing lots of governors are saying that we actually need foreign help with the issue of insecurity. We already have the Area Consultative Forum also giving their own what they feel about the insecurity, because once the place is not safe, definitely even 2023, it's really it's a threat already, because we can't see when people are not safe. How can we conduct the election come 2023? INEC has also complained on the fact that insecurity is really becoming, I think it's like becoming the order of the day, because when we just hear 10 people are killed, it's as if we have even lost our humanity, or we have even lost our morals, we have lost feelings, we don't even have conscience anymore, because whether we like it or not, it's affecting us mentally. It's affecting us mentally, and the more you keep seeing pictures of people being killed, before you realize people still have nightmares as a result of that. So it's not just about people dying, but it's about also how it affects us every day. I've mentioned this in the program before. Students even in boarding school are not safe anymore, because we have issues where you see them sleeping with short knickers, long trousers, just in case they hear that bandits or robbers or terrorists are by the corner, they will jump the fence. And you see, this is how people are sleeping now, traumatized as a result of all this. So I just hope that the government will actually see that this is really something we need to do. Yes, if we need to call our ex-servicemen to join us, let's do that. I think that's what Ukraine actually went into when they were invaded by Russia. If we need to do that to make sure that Nigeria is safe again, then we should take the right step that is needed. Let's not just fold our arms and say another 10 people are killed, another 20 people are killed, as if those people are not human beings. Even just a life matters. So I just hope that it will not be as if every day we just talk about it, but let us see what can we do. We're already having reports here that people said that the Minister of Sport, actually Minister of Transport, lied, because he said that the train was bulletproof, but it was not. If you had a picture of it, you would see that actually the bullets penetrated, and that's why some people had some injuries and even died as a result. So let's do what is expected. When something is not right during your administration, own up to the fact that it was during my administration this thing failed. What can I do to make it better? Regardless of who was there before you, now that you're there, what can you do different from what the people or the person that was there before you? So I just hope we will see this as a call for us to act up and do the right thing at the end of the day. Other stories still on the leadership. ECOWAS court nullifies Section 24 of the Nigerian Cybercrime Act. The second Niger breach, federal government commends NSIA Julius Berger on quality of work. And we have 2 students develop technology to check real vandalization. We also have a picture story here. The Vice President Yemi Osinbajo greeting the lady in her 90th birthday, and declaration of Peter at the Peter Catholic Church at Lagos yesterday, and that's all on the Leadership newspaper.
And an Inquirer, sell his house to raise 20 million naira. Abductors tell family of Abuja chief. The family of the kidnapped chief of Bupe community in Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, are in their quandary as those behind the abduction of the royal father have directed them to sell the chief's house in order to raise the 20 million naira ransom they are demanding. Unknown gunmen had on Wednesday, March 31st, 2022, kidnapped the traditional monarch of Bupe community, His Royal Highness Alhaji Hassan Shamidozi, after shooting sporadically to scare away members of the community. During the invasion, the chief of the community, who is said to be a sibling to the abducted traditional ruler, that is Jibril, was also attacked and wounded. And Daily Trust quoted a family member of the kidnapped traditional ruler who preferred anonymity, that the kidnappers had vowed not to release him until they get 20 million naira. And still, this is still narrowing down to insecurity, but all hands are on deck coming from this community on how they can free their traditional rulers, and not just the traditional ruler in the Bupe community, even in other places. We have testimony stories of people who have been abducted, family, children abducted and in the den of these kidnappers, and huge amount of money is being demanded. Something needs to be done about these insecurity issues. If our security officials are not capable to fight insecurity, then we just need the helps of foreign mercenaries, because we have when foreign nations are even interested in the issue of insecurity that we are going through in our country. All we need to do is just to open up and allow them come in and help us in fighting this, because if we cannot fight it on our own, then they should come and help us. We cannot fold our arms and say on our own we are capable to fight this, and people are dying every day because we keep having records of death every day. This is really sad, and people are being traumatized. Just like you've said, the trauma is all over. You can't go out, you can't even sleep with your two eyes closed any longer because you don't even know what will happen in the next second. So we need the help of foreign mercenaries, and thank God the Senate and lawmakers are trying to bring up this. We need help of foreign mercenaries to come and assist us in fighting this. If they can put hands together with our military, we saw when the vigilantes are looking out for this, helping the military, but they are not left out again, even by these abductors and even all this insurgent group. And now we see that even the state policing is no more any longer in our country. So we need foreign mercenaries, and we need weapons that are subsidized to be able, so that we'll be able to use it to fight insecurity. Because on our own, this is beyond us. This is time we need to say that it is beyond us. This battle is beyond us. If only foreign nation can come to our aid to fight this issue of insecurity that we are surrounded with. And the big story on Inquirer says exposed rots in telecom industry. International firms stifle Nigerians' coy and disregard local content law. Cheat federal government of VAT. NCC indicted. Garki Hospital ownership tussle, staff uncertain even with injunction. MSF bemoans desperate conditions in Benue IDP camp. Details can be found in page 12, and good hydration may reduce risks of heart failure. How to curb brain drain Nigerians. This is coming from page 15 on the Inquirer newspaper, and that's all on the paper.
Thank you. Let's take a look at the Voice of Liberty. Suspension can shut my mouth from speaking the truth. This is coming from Shaki Khalid. And on insecurity, you don't take a knife and rip open your belly. APC chair to El-Rufai and Amechi. And on 2023, Emifele support group raises alarm on smear campaign plots against the CBN governor and his office. And Rotimi Amechi joins the 2023 presidential race, said he is Igbo. How PDP politician raid NNPC carted away $20 billion, and this is coming from the presidency, with the writer says PDP had army of phantom soldiers who pay went to politicians' pocket. The presidency yesterday slammed the People's Democratic Party (PDP), alleged that its politician robbed Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and stole $20 billion during their last year in power. The presidency was reacting to the PDP's governor's criticism of the All Progressive Congress administration yesterday, in which the party branded the administration as a failure. Still on 2023, election may not hold in 2023, Pastor Adeboye warns. And on insecurity, Akwa Ibom evacuates stranded citizens from Castina. And we have Tambua Diaz, the EFCC, on alleged fraction of 189 billion naira. And that's all from the Voice of Liberty.
On Nigerian News Direct, Dangote Fertilizer to train over 1 million farmers in 3 years. NDLEA seizes 5 billion naira worth of tramadol in 3 states, and Fidelity Bank grows PBT by 35.7% to 38.1 billion naira for FY 2021. The big story on tariff hike, multi-choice dares federal government, tribunal's judgment, and Senate begins implementation of 15% price hike on DSTV, GoTV subscriptions. Details can be found in page 2. And on terrorism, no unregistered SIM cards on operators network. This is coming from telcos. And police intercept busload of illicit drugs in Lagos, reject 500,000 naira bribe. This is it's a good step coming from the police. You can see the amount of drug that were intercepted, and a bribe was being offered to this police and they refused it. This is an applaud to our police and even those police that were at this checkpoint. If others can learn from this and even emulate this, we've had issues where our police are at the highway and even the military at the highway, they're just out for the bribe they receive from passers-by, and even all those buses. That's why it's very easy for people to pass with illegal weapons and even drugs. They pass there because you just give out the bribe on the highway. But you can see that this police in this checkpoint have refused this money. If only they can be rewarded even openly, and they should be appreciated for this move. It's really good, because amongst them there are the bad eggs are the ones even causing this havoc in the police sector. And now this group of people that brought themselves out of this bad egg, we need to applaud them for this good move that they've done. And OPEC targets Nigerians 100,000 barrels output drops in March. Train attack, NRC confirms 14 more safe passengers. And we have a picture story in the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. That's all on the paper.
Take a look at the Guardian newspaper. Amid pressure on Naira, expert profile options to shun up Forex with rider Naira risks was plot. Market differentiate at all-time high of 173 Naira per dollar. Political risks, global move towards higher interest rate worsen the situation. And dollarization of investment saving intensifies. Naira will hit point of no return if Forex is liberated. Forex won. FASU won, sorry. And we also have other stories still on the Guardian newspaper. Insecurity, Buhari's government overwhelmed. Obasanjo wants. Gunmen kill 10 in fresh Plateau attack. And Nuge urges Nigerians to vote out governors working against the council autonomy. We have Okowa bans Delta commissioners from making public statements. Detail of that can be found on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. And Adeboye, I worry more for failing economy insecurity than the 2023 election. And still on the 2023 presidency, Kalu urges the APC to unveil zoning formula. And we have the escalation in terror attack, and that is an editorial. You can read that on page 16 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have some picture stories here, so do well to get the Guardian newspaper and read detail of any of the story that's of interest to you.
On the Punch newspaper, PENCOM to fine PFAs over pensioners' delayed payments and orders. 2 million people will start receiving 20 billion naira monthly from June. This is coming from the federal government. And federal government grants 3-year tax relief to 33 companies, bars 10 firms. The presidency is saying PDP politicians stole soldiers' salaries during tenure. And mercenaries call avoid fire brigade approach, hire volunteers, hunters, says the ACF. NDLEA Customs seized 9.5 million tramadol, 5 billion naira narcotics. And the big story, PDP backs Obasanjo Adeboye's fear over killings and 2023 election. The rider says Buhari's government overwhelmed. Nigerians no longer save on road, train, airport, says ex-president. I'm not sure if 2023 election will hold, says RCCG General Overseer. Laments crude oil theft. Obasanjo Adeboye stating the obvious. Northwest governors organizing dubious amnesty, alleges PDP. Gunmen kill 10, injure 19 in Plateau Festival attack. 10 persons have been confirmed dead and 19 others injured after gunmen invaded a cultural festival in the Bassa local government area of Plateau State. The incident occurred as the people of the Irigwe ethnic nationality of the state were celebrating the Zerechi, an annual festival meant to usher in the rainy and farming season. The hoodlums were said to have stormed the ritual ground in Chando Zerechi community and killed the victims. The National Publicity Secretary, Irigwe Youth Movement, Lawrence Zongo, confirmed the killing to Punch Metro in Jos on Sunday. He said the incident happened around 11 p.m. on Saturday. Zongo said tragedy struck in our land as our people were attacked and killed again, this time during an annual ritual festival, Zerechi. We were attacked by Fulani militants, usually referred to by government authorities as unknown gunmen, on April 2nd, 2022, around 11 p.m. at the ritual ground, Chando Zerechi in Bassa local government. 10 people were killed and 19 survived gunshot. They are undergoing treatment at the Enos Hospital, Miongo, while others have been moved to Jos. The youth leader recalled that last month 10 people were killed in Irigwe village as houses and food crops were destroyed. He called on the state and federal government to rise up to their responsibility of protecting lives and properties. The Nigerian government has a responsibility to promote and protect human life, including the right to life, and a duty to protect citizens from attack by taking effective measures to prevent and deter attack on the Irigwe people. He added, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Uba Ogaba, said the command have deployed operative in the community. Investigation into what really happened during the incident in Bassa is ongoing, but the situation is calm as our men have been deployed in the area, the PPRO added. Still on the Punch newspaper, CSOs tackle Emefiele over alleged involvement in politics. Gunmen storm Ogun mosque, abduct policeman. 2 others demand 15 million naira. So you can see that these people are even going beyond what they can do. You see that even the police station are no longer safe. We have all this issue coming up. Now we can see that the police station was invaded by unknown gunmen in Ogun State, and even a ransom is demanded from this police, 15 million naira. So people that are assigned to even protect you are no longer safe. So what is the fate of the civilians if the military are even attacked in this situation? Look at this Miongo community. We have the barracks close to this Miongo. We have like I went to Miongo community on Friday. I saw the way you could see the way soldiers were even moving around with guns in this same community. So what is happening? We have the barracks close to these people. We have the camps of this military in that Miongo community. So are we saying that this unknown gunmen they can overpower our military? Because we have military stationed in those places. This is not the first time we're having attack in this Miongo community. So definitely we have the standby military in such community. So what is happening? That the people's fates are not even, the securities are not even enough to even protect people in communities like this. And now we are seeing that even the police station is another spot to be attacked, and ransom are being demanded. We still keep talk about this foreign mercenaries. We need to call out for foreign help if we cannot do it on our own. Mr. President said our securities are capable to tackle issue of insecurity, to tackle the banditry attack we are facing. But it's obvious that our securities are not capable to fight this. Because if a police station is being attacked, then what happened to the fate of the people that rely on the police officers to protect them? So we need foreign help, and we have where our lawmakers said everybody should look out for self-defense. If we're going to go out for self-defense, then we should neutralize all the military sector, so that we know that everybody to himself, everybody should be out to protect him or herself and her family and families. Because you see issues like this, people being abducted even during the day. It's no longer done again at night. During the day, people are not safe. They are being abducted, and huge amount of money is being demanded. Where are we going to with this issue of insecurity? How can we grow? How can we develop with issue of insecurity? How can we even have people to come and help us with this issue of insecurity? Even the foreign mercenaries that we are looking out for to come and help us, even they'll be scared because of all this. This is not the first time that even we have people who came to invest in our country. They were abducted and money were demanded, and up to date we don't even know the whereabouts. So what do we need to do concerning all these things? Mr. President needs to step up to his game. The various chief security officers need to step up to their game. We keep saying we need vigilante officers. Vigilantes, we had issue where vigilantes were abducted. We have civil defense being abducted. So what do we need to do concerning insecurity? Because that become the order of the day, and is disturbing all Nigerians since the assumption of this power. We keep recording death every day. Must we wipe out everybody before we can tackle this issue of insecurity? We need to look into this issue.
Very, very true, Tosin. Because if you even see what the General Vice of RCCG was saying, he's not even concerned about the 2023 election. And I think it would be out of place if actually we'll tend to look at what are we going to do concerning the current issue we are having now. The place is not safe. So if we are not safe, who are we conducting the elections for? Who are the people that are going to turn out? And I think we need to stop calling them unknown gunmen, because as far as I'm concerned, we know who they are. We have names of people sponsoring them. If the governor of Kaduna even came out and said that they have some of the conversation they are having, and I think it's the same thing, because our name was linked to our SIM card. So definitely the NCC also have a record of all this conversation. If we have it, then let us track them down. If we are really, really serious, I always say this, to tackle insecurity, it's just for the president to just, and the lawmakers just, in the twinkle of an eye, and things will be done properly. But I don't know why it seems we are being reluctant, or we are afraid of them, or something just seem not to be in place. But I'm just hoping that Mr. President is actually taking his time. He's trying to see what is the next line of action he needs to take, because definitely it will not be a good record that it was in his time that lots of souls are dying. It is in his time that he's not able to keep his house in order. Already we had on social media where even foreign nations are using him as an example of a failed president, which is not even very pleasant news for anybody to hear anywhere. We really need to be on our toes if we really want to still maintain that that image of saying we are the giant of Africa. Then let us do what is expected of us to do. We have what it takes. I always say this. I believe that the military or the task force have what it takes, but I don't know what the problem is. Are they scared of somebody? Are we having snitches in the house? Whatever it needs for us to do, let us do that. If only we want to be living a peaceful life in our own country.
Still on the Punch newspaper, Makinde threatens lawsuit over 998 million naira contract inflation allegation. Pastor's baby killed as wife, female members fight over alleged affair with cleric. And SOUN, family opposes Gandhi, alleges African Development Bank director excluded, demand fresh selection. And that's all on the Punch newspaper.
Okay, let's take a look at the Daily Sun newspaper. Obasanjo rates President Buhari low on security, says the regime overwhelmed, Nigerians no longer safe. Votes will count in Ekiti, Osun governorship polls, and this is coming from INEC. Detail of that can be found on page 3 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And still on 2023, Atiku, Wike, Ayib, Obi, and others no fate tomorrow, with the rider PDP panel decides on zoning. And to know more of that story, you can check it up on page 8 of the Daily Sun newspaper. CBN to penalize banks for depositing mutilated notes. And gunmen bomb Imo local government headquarters, kill 2 federal road safety officers in Anambra, with the rider Uzudima blames insurgents of insecurity on political opposition. Kadu urges APC to reveal zoning formula and the presidential ticket to the southeast. Detail of that also can be found on page 27. And the presidency hits PDP governors over opposition on Buhari's performance, accuses them of covering up serial failures. Kidnappers invade Ogun, mocks adopt police inspector and 2 others. And still on 2023, election may not hold Adeboye, says the nation sliding into bankruptcy and the pastor wants. Denies ever telling RCCG members who to vote. And to know more about that story, you can look it up on page 6. And the last story on the paper here, why I accepted to lead Yahaya Bello's campaign organization. And you can read more of that on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. But before we move further to other papers we'll have for you this morning, we'd like to take a time out where we'll open our phone lines so that you can call us and let us know what you feel about all of the stories that have been making the headlines on our Nigerian newspaper. And also, you can drop your comment on our Facebook page and also on YouTube, and we'll do well to take those. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this time out. Thank you for staying tuned. The program is still from the Dailies on Equa Television, and we're looking at some stories, especially concerning the insecurity in the nation. So our phone lines are actually open right now. You can call us and let us know what your views are concerning all of the stories out on the Nigerian newspaper, and also you can drop your comment on our Facebook page. And I'd like to take the first comment we have today, and this is coming from Abraham Mema, and he said hiring mercenaries for terrorism is the best. We are tired of hearing our citizens dying every day. Thank you, Abraham, for that contribution, and we hope the government are actually listening and are also hearing our views concerning that. So let's move to other papers we have.
Nigerian Tribune, Abuja Imam suspended over inciting sermon. These are governments, they have this they have words to paint their failures. Because I listened to the sermon that was said, when you say the truth, it's a threat to our government. You see where people come out to protest, it becomes a threat to them. If you don't want all these things, then you should do the actual thing, do the right thing, do the things, the needful, and no one will come and speak against you. Rather, even this is not even speaking against. They are saying the truth. We need things to be done the right way. We need the actual things to be done.
I'm so sorry, let me cut you short. Hello, Christopher from Kaguru. Good morning. Your first caller for today. Please go straight to the point.
Nigeria, the president have failed this country completely. So hiring mercenaries is the only option to solve these insecurity challenges that we are facing today in the nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that great contribution. Hiring mercenaries is the way forward if we really are serious about, handling insecurity.
Yes, and still talking about the issue of the suspension of the Abuja Imam, we look out for if we can have our religious leaders speak up like this. Our religious leader put hands together, because with the problem we are going through now, we shouldn't look at a different ethnic group or even the religious group. We are one. We supposed to and fight this and even say the truth, because we are tired of this people having religious leaders who come out and deceive these people and say you are doing the right thing. We are tired of this because the right thing are not being done. So we need a religious leader that will say the truth, put hands together, say the truth to this government, even if it's the threat to them. They have barely 14 months, but they need to hear the truth. Although they know that what they are doing is not right, but we need them to hear the truth and do the right thing.
We also have another caller. Good morning. Please go straight to your point.
Okay, I want to comment on the election, 2023 election. The 2023 election might not hold. And I want to say APC has a plan, because we've seen the writing on the wall right away. All of us have seen it. They are planning to make sure that this 2023 election doesn't hold.
Okay, thank you for that contribution. Toasty, please go on. You were saying.
And Aduboye is saying oil theft pushing Nigeria into bankruptcy. I'm worried about current national malaise, not 2023, he adds. El Rufai calls for mercenaries, confirms APC's failure, and this is coming from the opposition group PDP. Presidency attacks PDP governors over stance on Buhari's performance. Details can be found in page 8 and 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. Gunmen kill 12 in Plateau. NDLEA seizes tramadol worth 53 million naira in Lagos, Abuja and Edo. Policemen reject 500,000 naira bribe, arrest suspect with Arizona drug worth 10 million naira. Nigerians no longer safe on train, road at airport, Obasanjo laments. And Abuja-Kaduna train, trouble looms over NRC's silence on 7 kidnapped railway workers. Don't elect governors opposing local government autonomy, NULG urges Nigerians. And MTN named best tax compliant firm in Nigeria. On fuel crisis, business owners seek federal government's intervention. And Hafsat Abiola is saying why I accepted to lead Yaya Bello's campaign organization. Details can be found in page 8. And on unemployment, why the number is rising. We have 2 picture story here, Obey at 80 and Lady Dodger at 90. Those are all the stories on Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
Take a look at that Jezra newspaper. We have still on the train attack, federal government overwhelmed by insecurity, and this is still coming from the ex-president Obasanjo. I'm yet to ascertain if 2023 polls will hold, says Adeboye. And the presidency berates the PDP governors for misrepresenting facts about the federal government. CBN disbursed 1.452 trillion naira for 337 real sector projects. Detail of that can be found on page 12 of the Jezra newspaper. Gunmen set Imo Council Secretariat ablaze. An MBA and others expressed concern over